Yes, and a warm welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP. The gaffer's back, boys. He's in for a time now. I heard he's yesterday. After that game, wait till see what I've got in store for you tonight. You pair of plums, man, as they call yous. And don't know what yous are smiling at. You don't know be smiling in a minute when I start. So, hope you've had a nice weekend. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Now it's back to business and back to serious business. It's nice to see the two of you have made a wee effort tonight and brushed your hair for a change. I'll start with you, Lee Maloney. I see you've got another hoodie on there. How are you doing?
I'm sober, so I'm all right actually this weekend. The alcohol this weekend. I was on the day job all weekend, so and now I need to listen to used to. So my weekend was fantastic until I come on the Monday show after that performance at the weekend. Nah, I'm only joking. Not all good, mate. Positivity. We're through to the next round of the cup quarter final, mate. So that's the biggest positive of the lot. I know we can be critical about our performances or players or whatever, but the full aspect is we're through. Another quarter final for Celtic. Home to Livy. Again, don't want to be too far ahead, but you like to think you'll be going to take care of business and get yourself into semi-final, JP. So we've set ourselves up for an interesting part of the season, mate. So all good. Looking forward to chatting to you two. I'll go make you tea while you two probably natter on about still game or something, and I'll just make you tea, mate. But overall, I'm good and hope you're well as well.
That's fantabulous, mate. It's good to hear from you. It's good to see you also. Nice to see you smiling. Nice to see you sober as well. It's not often you get to do that right enough, but it's good to see that.
Make me like an alky, by the way.
You're not an alky yet, mate, but you get better with practice, as I say, you know what I mean?
The banana humpty, Ryan.
The banana humpty, Ryan, exactly. Talking into a shoe, asking for a shopper. But it's also nice to see you smiling and see another jersey there. And I take it you stole that one off Chris Commons this time, big man. How are you? And I hope you're well.
Aye, fantastic. I'm just waving goodbye to negativity. We were going to have a wee debate tonight, so waving goodbye to negativity, and here's for positive thoughts after a pretty good result, but no, maybe the ideal performance we're looking for, but step in the right direction. That's the positivity part of it. Definitely a step in the right direction. It was better than the performances we've seen the last three games, so that's the positive swing we're going to put on it, that we're on the upwards and onwards. So it's definitely an upward trajectory we're on, and here's hoping it continues. So happy days.
Right, okay.
We've just went for there. All right, okay. What's that?
Okay. The football monitoring board right now are telling me what to say, but I'm not going to repeat half of what they're saying to me now. First of all, good evening, everybody, and good evening to everybody that's joining us. Hope you're all well. Hope you had a lovely weekend. My weekend was fantabulous. Spending some time with my family, and then yesterday came and went. Celtic won 2-0. Comfortable victory. Comfortable performance, in my opinion. And then a Sunday just goes from bad to worse. When you go to tune on to YouTube and watch these two pair of happy-go-lucky guys talking about the football. Now, if you were an outsider and you didn't know much about football, you wouldn't have known Celtic won yesterday listening to you two, man.
Oh,
I nearly stopped going Christmas music and everything just to get at it. Honest to God. I was like, what's going on?
You hear that, Ryan? That's old Ronnie shouting on him, innit?
Seriously, I was wondering what in God's name was going on. But thankfully, I was only off yesterday and back on tonight because...
JP was too busy shouting in George Square, Park in the sky!
I went mental when I seen another Palma assist yesterday. I was thinking about you two right enough, especially with his left foot.
What's the boat that sunk off the coast of Bismarck?
Aye. Bismarck. That's all right. You two continue on. I've got evidence you two yous were
talking sense.
Not very happy. No, mate, I wouldn't. That's definitely not the label I would give to yourself. But I can think of a few labels, to be honest with you. No, but listen, all kidding aside, what we all wanted, we basically got, didn't we? we wanted Celtic to march on to the next round of the Scottish Cup in what was, I would say, of another very tricky away tie for us, and a calendar that we have at the moment that we've just half it back here. A mad week with 3 very difficult venues. You know, we went to all away from home, and we're pretty much unscathed in them all. I mean, we're undefeated in every one of them, so we've came through it, and I think the Hibs game, obviously we'll come to that, but I think the Hibs game is going to be a big turning point on the season for us. But in terms of yesterday, I mean, out with any other team, they're probably one of the teams that's in form domestically at the moment. I think they've scored 6 or 7 goals in the last 2-3 games. So, and they rattled the Hibs team. Was it 3-0 last week as well? Last weekend. So they were in a lot of form. And for Celtic to go there and win 2-0, in my opinion, going on 3 or 4 in the end, it could have been. And obviously not conceding a goal is, to be fair, lads, in terms of cup football, I don't think it gets any better than that. In all honesty, I really don't. I don't think you can ask for much more. Us as fans are probably going to be greedy in that and say, we wanted more of a slicker performance, or, but they're a very hard team. Big physical presence in their team. You've seen that with their 2 late subs, with the big boy Alunya and the other big lad they brought. I can't remember the other big boy's name. The other big lad they brought on up front. But big units, and they've got physicality all the way through their team now. We're a team that probably have lacked physicality previously. And I know, obviously, Big Ida up front gives us that. Lads, I don't know about you two, but I thought it was really good to see the 2 of them play together, because I thought Kyogo was more suited, drop him into the 10 and linking the play and being on that half turn. I think he's got a lovely touch. And then obviously, the Asian Cup boys have come back and, they've made a difference to the team. They've gave us a boost to the squad as well. And suddenly now our bench, in my opinion, doesn't look as weak as it's been in previous weeks, Alan.
I like the shape. I think the change of formation, slight change. It was a decent reaction towards the performance to start with. You've seen that before he made the subs in the hour mark. You've seen Kyogo was kind of very effective getting that space and behind in the tail roll. Ida, I know he scored the 2 penalties. He didn't contribute much for myself. I know he's obviously worked off the ball as well that we're no noticing, but there was there, apart from the chance that he kind of took a wee swivel and had a deflected shot, there was a great deal to kind of speak about. But you've seen the difference in the kind of formation. I thought that formation brought the best out, in particular, on Cal McGregor. I thought he had more space in the middle of the park. Reflecting on it, you're seeing that he's maybe pushed up a bit because of the change of formation, and you were seeing Callum kind of make the kind of through balls that has made them really effective for us. So there was positives that we can take out the game, some negatives as well. But I think the performance, getting back to somewhere near his best, was Cal McGregor. And I thought Kyogo, that was probably the first game of the season that you'd seen him taking so many touches of the ball, because he's been taking a step back into the 10 role. So there was positives. I thought the 2 in particular. Obviously, Joe Hart's had a few saves to make as well. He's been, what we spoke about yesterday, he was really effective with that and reliable.
I think he has been for some time now in the last few weeks, Alan.
We spoke about that yesterday and saying that we were obviously criticising that we wanted or needed a new goalkeeper to come in. But I think the last few games he has kind of stepped up to the plate and made an impact. So
Yeah.
you look like I would take it for there. I think McGregor was back somewhere near his best. I think Kyogo was really well. And as much as I said yesterday, as much as I've criticised Yang in the past, I thought he could come on and done relatively well considering what Palmer was doing. I think it gave you a different outlook. What he was actually going forward and goodbye players and showing that kind of bit of pace. So that was looking far more effective than Palmer was looking at present. So so credit where credit's due. Yang came on yesterday and looked pretty decent. So hopefully we can add a wee bit of consistency to that part of the game and we can see a bit more for Yang on that wing.
Yeah, I think some really good points here, Alan. In terms of Joe Hart, I think Joe Hart, obviously we heard Brendan speak at the end of the game yesterday, and I think, I think he's a massive character for the teammate. I think he gives us a lot of pluses. Joe's come under some, I think it's been unwarranted criticism this season. He's made mistakes, but again, most people in the team make mistakes as well. It's, for me, especially goalkeeping position, I think it's a test of your character to see how you react from those mistakes. I think Joe's done that sublimely, Alan. So I think that's a good point in Joe Hart there, mate. And obviously picking up that he's still making some really, really good saves. Ryan, I think Alan makes another great point in terms of Kyogo, mate. And that just looked more fluent yesterday to me, with Kyogo dropping in there. And that's where he actually used to play for Wisla Kobe. So I think Kyogo, obviously yesterday, probably played with a bit more of a freedom. He was able to drop in, get on the ball, turn. And I think yesterday, mate, he showed, his touches are lovely. His touches are really good. Yeah, I think Kyogo, when he plays in that sort of position, mate, in my opinion, he just becomes a very, very good teammate. He works very hard, and not only does he try to craft out goals for us, but he works hard going back to me as well, so he chases people as well. And I think, again, mate, not just Kyogo, you look at my mistake, Maeda. You look at the running power Maeda gives you, even when he's probably not been that effective in the game in certain moments. I think you look at Yang, Alan mentioned Yang as well, Ryan. I think overall yesterday, I think that was glaring to me yesterday, Ryan. There seemed to be a lot more, we've spoke the last couple of weeks off this, mate, and we've said one or two of the games, there'll be moments in the games where we've lacked a press. So I thought yesterday when Yang came on, being a good teammate, helping Bernabe down at a left back position, winning the ball back, getting on the ball, trying to turn, make things happen. When you've got guys doing that, mate, it becomes half the battle. And guys like Callum McGregor and that don't need to work as hard in the midfield when you've got guys on and off the ball, making runs and helping the team out, mate.
In terms of Kyogo, I did say after the game to you and during the game that there was flashes of the wee man that we've seen in recent years. I still feel he's naturally a striker. You can still see that he's drifting away into the centre mid. He's actually seen at one point he was actually near into Joe Hart. He was way up the top end of the park. And you're definitely right in terms of the teammate side. That's a good teammate. He's everywhere, but you need your striker up top. I thought he played well as a 10 yesterday, but it was people were saying it was too up front. To me, it looked like it was Aida was up front himself, and Kyogo was kind of playing the 10 and kind of like a free role. He was just linking the play, he was going out wide, he was going up through the channels, he was helping out in midfield. He kind of got a free role the way I seen it. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's just the way I seen the game. I'm agreeing with yourself, Alan, on the big man up front. Didn't get much service. He didn't get much touches of the ball for my eyes. Maybe if you look at the stats, he might have. But in terms of what he done in the game, he didn't get much to really go and show as much, because it was the same against Hibs. 2 penalties, calm, clinical, brilliant, striker, fantastic. But he had the odd moments where you thought, this guy's got something here. But overall, we've still to see everything he can give. But the more he plays, the more we'll get that. And the more he gets service, the more we'll see that as well. Kyogo, he's been through a wee tough spell. I know Big Chris Sutton says he thought it was due to the system. Other guys are saying it's the manager. Other guys are saying it's him himself. Me, it's a bit of both. You can blame the manager, but the manager's on the park. The manager's not the one that's missing the chances. The manager's not the one that's not going to get the ball and stuff. So it's a combination of things. And again, I'm not want to be negative, but for me, it was all about the performance, the victory. Performance, I think I did say to use it after the game that it's going to be a gradual build-up for us now. I don't think we're going to play on Saturday and go, right, that's us back, and then next week it will continue. I think it's going to be a gradual, right, Saturday we'll get better, during the week we'll get better, during the week, next week I think it's going to be a gradual build-up because it's very hard to go for being okay and then being vintage Celtic and just that's the way it goes. It's going to be a gradual step up. It was the same with Ange. It's a gradual step up. And mind with Ange, we got to even about Christmas time and then we just motored on. It could be the same now. We could get to the middle of February, end of February with Rodgers, boom. You can slightly see the flashes. Again, I don't want to keep referring to Ange's team, but that's all we can compare to because that's all we've seen the last 20 bit years. The flashes that we've seen in the last 20 bit years before Rodgers came back, there was flashes of the press, but it still wasn't, wow, Celtic are back. It still wasn't, wow, this is the team we've seen for the last 20 bit years. No, I'm not saying we won't, Francis. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying we're going to be, just say the Ange football. That's not going to come back to us right away. It's going to take time. Like the manager says, we've not got Hatate, we've not got Vickers, we've had guys away in the Asia Cup, we've had guys no fully fit, we've had a transition of players, Johnson as well, we've had a transition of manager. It's been a stop-start really season for Celtic, as much as we've been maybe as a fan base, we've maybe been negative on the performances, but like I said to you after the pod as well, McGregor kind of says what I've really been saying about it's the noise about the fans. It's because of what we have seen the last 2 years. I don't want to say spoiler, but what we've seen the last 2 years of football-wise,
that's the right word for it, Ryan. That is a correct word.
It's been phenomenal, right? It's with Rodgers in his first season, we've seen glimpses of that Ange style, but the Ange style it's the best I've ever seen as a Celtic fan, ever, right? So to then, when you see a drop-off in performances the way we have this season, it's the standards of the club. And like I said to you, because the transfer windows haven't been great, performances haven't been great, we've had the wee blip, everything just came to a collective. And that's why during the January window, it just all went tits up, but in terms of the fan side of it. So the main positive was you won the game. The other positive is the flashes. The press was a bit there. There was bits of the play where we were starting to be Celtic again. But it's weird how we all see football differently. Like McGregor says he thought in the first half they were very good. I thought it was the opposite. I thought the first half it was boring to watch. And then the second half it got a lot better. I got a text from my old man, Ryan, I want to turn this off. This is boring me. And it's not just, there's a lot of guys like that at the moment and all, but it's because of what we've been used to the last 2 years. But it's not boring football. It's because of what we've seen. He did. Who? I don't know. The football's only to us not as good because of what we've seen. The football's probably still, see if you look at all the data, we've seen some of the data obviously JP because somebody we talked to, and the data's actually no far off for the Angie's system. It's no, if you look at some of the data, it's no far off, but because it's no good on the eye anymore, we're all thinking it's no there. But again, I'm not going to sit here and be negative. I was a bit negative maybe yesterday because I still believe there's certain guys.
What do you mean a bit?
No, but it's the truth. There's certain guys we all know. Listen, we won the game, but that's one of the
I actually thought I was physically going to have to come in.
But let's be honest, right?
I don't think it's spoiled. Like, it's no spoiled, it's no entitlement.
See my opinion, right? See that back line that we started with? It's win, lose or draw, win leagues or whatever. It's one of the worst back lines I've ever seen as a Celtic fan, but that's the truth. That doesn't mean that we're not going to win leagues or win trophies. That's on paper. It's one of the worst back lines I've ever seen in 20, 30 years as a Celtic fan. That's the truth. That's not me being negative. That is the truth. because the windows are in a shambles. But
to be fair, Welshie, Ralston, Scalesy, or Bernaby, if any's are looking for a chat,
Bernaby.
No, it's
remember,
not. But
do not put their email address in the drop-down box.
No, listen, I'm no. It's not been disrespectful.
Let's add that Phillips into that, eh?
No, but listen, the biggest positive is we're stepping stones now. Like you said, Alan and JP, we've stepping stones now. We've got something to build on. We're through another quarter-final, which the manager's obviously been unbeaten in the Scottish Cup, so he's got that omen to obviously keep on as well. But listen, like you say, I'm going to try and get all the... That's the negatives done, but my last negative is people were saying about Liam Scales done well, people were saying he didn't play well, guys saying he was man of the match, and guys saying he wasn't. It just shows you, JP, we all see Alan, we all see football different. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. We all see football differently. It's all about opinions, but for me, Liam Scales just too slow in the ball. He takes about 5 or 6 touches to then play the ball, and this is why I said before the game that Nedovsky should be playing, because Nedovsky, he gets the ball and it's boom. 2 touches, he's away. He's trying to play the balls through the lines. Skill tried to do it once or twice, he lost the ball. He got caught again. But listen, we won the game, so it's not a blame game on Scales or Bernaby or anybody else. Bernaby actually played well. Second half, he was really good. I think he's really good going forward, JP. Defensively, I think he's got to do a lot more defensively, but yeah. I think he's better playing left mid, JP. I think he can maybe transform him into left mid, but I'll still say right now, the jury on Bernaby, it's still out for me. For him to come back to be the left back or make a solid indent in the team, he's got to progress massively. But and Yang as well, JP, I thought Yang was very good when he came on. Again, I've no wrote him off completely. I've kind of wrote off. I didn't think he'd done anything really when he came on to really say that he could come in and challenge. I think he's got a hard ass now to maybe get game time, especially when the big man came in now. So, but overall, JP, it's a massive positive. You're through to the next round. Like you say, JP, it could have been 3 or 4 at the end of the game. So, massive positive, and I like to see a bit of fighting top for the manager, and I think he knows now that it's let's go into battle.
Yeah, Alan, before I bring you in, mate, I'm just going to do a quick announcement, folks. You'll probably see on the bottom of your running bar just now, there is a wee announcement there. Athena Glasgow women's and girls team, who are based in Springburn in Glasgow, they are looking for a centre forward for the under-14s girls side. And the point of contact is a guy called Craig O'Leary. To get Craig, if your girl wants to take the next step in her footballing career, the number is 07543 636 960. Or you can email them on Athena Glasgow FC Inquiries at outlook.com. So if your lassie's looking to make the next step in her footballing career, look no further, guys, because there's an academy there who are obviously looking for a new centre forward. I was going to send Big Alan up to see what he was maybe up to at the weekend, see if we could maybe...
maybe we'll pass for under 14, you'll know.
Cut some eyes. No, I'll definitely know. You're damn tootin', I'll definitely know. But I was trying to
hairline, man.
See, I mean, you can't talk about MD's hair, son. You just can't.
The hairline. Mine's on crow.
At least I didn't fall asleep. My window open, the seagulls get in. That's a different.
The seagulls
that's a different story, that one.
The seagulls have chopped a bit of yours off there.
The seagulls look as if they stole your toast and thought it's going and left it all in your head.
I'm looking hot.
Aye. If you stick your head in the microwave for 10 minutes.
Aye.
But no, just to add to what Ryan was saying, Alan, I think yesterday, like I says, it's all about building blocks now, and I agree with Brendan in terms of, what he was saying about you know, there's a lot of crazy narratives going about, you know, mate. And for me, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. Lennon says it to him. He says, you know, your 8 wins in your last 9 games. That's no bad, innit? And he goes, it's Celtic. So I think it's a very good point, to be honest, mate.
I don't think it's about the wins. I don't think it's about. I think we've lost that kind of 8 point lead, and I think Lanius can put my finger on that we've put a couple of performances together this season at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can count with one hand the performances you go right. That's proper vintage Celtic. I think that's part of the problem. I don't think it's entitlement. I don't think that we're being spoiled as fans. I think that's more ambition stages. I think we're looking at that we've seen this kind of success. We've seen us playing this kind of manner of football. And as Ryan says, that's the only thing we can compare it to is kind of Andrew's team or Neil Lennon previously.
Yeah.
So you're looking at this last team and you're seeing a high standard being set there. And it's not quite living up to that at present. That could change. As Ryan says, look, obviously Brendan's still got time with the players, we'll keep players out. But at present, we're not seeing great signs of that, great consistency signs of that. So I think it's more to do with the performances rather than the points. Because with good performances, you're getting that kind of excitement for the fans, you're getting that confidence for the fans that this team could go on a proper consistent run, whether that be kind of 15, 16 games winning run. And that's the kind of form we had with Ange as well when he took over, and when Ryan says after that winter, we went on that kind of run.
Well, we're about halfway there now, aren't we? With 8 wins.
But I sort of said before, you can take that way anyway as well. The 2 games previous to that, 2 defeats. So we're looking at the future, we're looking positive. But I think the Celtic fans are probably expecting a bit more of a performance level. And I think obviously it makes it probably worse because of the transfer windows that we've had. Possibly because the lack of investment in January there. The club are obviously releasing figures that fans are thinking that could all be spent. That's not the case by a long shot. But I think there's probably a bit more that could be spent, a bit more ambition, a bit more kind of put into the first team and the squad. But that's a chat for another day. As I say, it's positive. We're starting to kind of put... right. We'll go into that, don't worry about it. But you're learning the game, right? There's... Like bringing in Maida again, I agree with you with the press. His crossing could be something to be left desired. My ma says she caught the ball in IKEA car park in Braehead for that cross. So, so there is certain things. There is a lot of the players that can step up. I think the whole play kind of slowed down. I don't know if I agree with the kind of the Matt O'Reilly and Bernardo kind of combination. I think you've seen so much better when Carl McGregor was playing alongside Matt O'Reilly. I think there was more pace in the middle of the park with Callum there. I think the two of them might be too similar. I'm hoping Paolo Bernardo picks up his game again because we had a kind of 4 or 5 game run that he was really, really good. He looked exceptional. And we were kind of questioning how much we were planning to pay for him. But going on the last few games and the first half of the season, it wouldn't be for me if you were paying 5 or 6 million at present. We took on that kind of 4 or 5 game spell that he had. That he did look exceptional, but we're looking for that kind of consistency part as well. If these guys are playing at a club as massive as Glasgow Celtic, you know the kind of expectancy. You know that we're expected to win every single league game, every single domestic game. That's just a draw is a disaster. That's the saying, isn't it? A draw is a disaster and a defeat's a catastrophe.
Alan, do you think the consistency, you're talking about consistency there, right? I think it's quite key that you mentioned that. Do you think that's also been a problem due to the fact that the way the squads had to be chopped and changed? I think there was a comment earlier as well that we've not really had the same back four for more than like 2 games all season in a row. So do you think the consistency there is obviously that's a big factor to play in that, and they've kind of had to try and work round about the the amount of injuries that we've been bombarded with this year. I know every team gets them, but no in your big hitters.
No, definitely, and I think you could apply that to everywhere across the park. I think we've changed the wingers so much as well that we've not had a consistent first 11. So I think the majority of the team that we could all pick and say that's our first choice 11, but there's a few of them. I don't know if we know everybody in that first 11 that you would pick. I don't know if you know the wingers that you would have in your first 11 starting. I don't know if you know it would probably be Scales and Carter Vickers, but is everybody 100% sure of that? So there has been a lot of uncertainty, and I don't know if Brendan even knows his favourite team, his choice of 11. So it is the kind of the injuries and the switches and the personnel as well. That's no ideal. You would much prefer a kind of starting 11, a settled starting 11 that can gel together and kind of learn how each other play exactly during the 90 minutes of match play. So it would be ideal if we could get our settled starting 11, but obviously that's not possible at present.
Yeah, no, I can get that. That was why, obviously, when you mentioned consistency, that was why I sort of mentioned that to Alan there, Ryan, because for me personally, I feel that, there's definitely some part of that combination there that, and I know this happens to every team, and again, I'm not making excuses, but surely I'm not the only person that thinks along the lines, Ryan, that I think Celtic have done remarkably well to still be top of the league, and albeit they knocked out the League Cup, okay, but they've negotiated a Champions League campaign. They managed to get their first win in that for 10 years. They have now progressed to the quarter-finals with a home tie against Livingston in the Scottish Cup. So to still have all that, as well as Rio Atati, Carter Vickers, you've now got an injury to Alistair Johnson, who, again, probably from the beginning of the season, didn't do a pre-season, been in and out again. Greg Taylor's had an injury, he's been out for the last few weeks. And you've been hampered with the midfield as well. So, like Alan mentioned previously on a previous podcast, that, when Rio Atati goes injured, it takes a few games before Bernardo really kicks into gear. But again, it's probably took him, that's down to settling into the team. And I just feel, Ryan, that this season's been a massive transition all round the place. It's not just one or two elements. You look at, first of all, the king of the tables changed over right away. So, like you've mentioned earlier, Alan, and Alan says before, Big Ange has left, Brendan's came back to the club. Again, you look at the contrast of managers, mate, they're probably different styles, albeit they want the same thing, which is attacking football, but they do it in a different way. So the players the players have had that bedded into them in over 2 years to get the to get that style in, and then they've went for that to then, right, there's a tactical element having to change here in the team and to do that as well. So all in all, mate, I think this season, mate, it's been a massive transition all round, and then when you throw injuries into that, it certainly hasn't helped.
It's very hard to consistently have the same style of play when your guys who are only playing week in, week out come in, and like I say, Jipe, it's the same situation where if we were to get youth guys coming into the team, they're no used to, well, they're used to playing the same kind of system, because Celtic have got the way where Ange kind of implemented it, where they played from the top to the bottom. They kind of played that, the full 3-3, the high intensity stuff. He tried to embed that into the full system. So the youth system isn't as lost as it was when we seen, obviously, Oakleflex and stuff came in, and they just looked like wee boys in a men's game, and that's just the way it looked at the time. I think now that's why you've got a squad, and I think there's guys in the squad that are they're just decent players and they're able to come in and do a job. But I think win the league, lose the league, or whatever, I do think in the summer we'll have a wee bit of rebuild in terms of players leaving, players getting released, i.e. McCarthy, etc. I do feel we'll have a big summer ahead of us in terms of, one, we'll have a bit of money to spend. Do I believe the recruitment team should be able to be able to spend that? Absolutely not. On everything so far, I think the recruitment team will need to change certain parts of it. I do believe the summer will be a wee bit of a rebuild for us in terms of certain players. I think O'Reilly's a stick on to go. I think I just can't see him staying if you get a big offer. Is Bernardo going to be staying? Guys like that. So, but that's obviously for the end of the season. But that's just why what you're saying about Vickers, Bridger, Hatate. If Vickers and Hatate are fit, Celtic a better team. If Kyle goes on form, Celtic a better team. It's just, it is consistency. And I've seen some of the comments saying, I know we've won 9 games. And it's not the fact about us winning games. It's a drop-off in level of performances. That's what the fans, and like I said to you, JP, the windows hasn't been great. It's just a big collective. And we've had the wee blip. And see if we had the blip at the end of the season, there wouldn't be this, who had the we'd have it at the end of the season. If it was at start,
I'm not so sure, mate. We'd have a wee blip at the end of last season before the cup final. People were going mental. I seen 1 or 2 going off at Kingston Bridge at that time.
There was guys saying about Ange, the end of Ange's career at Celtic, some of the football was starting to get a tad boring. And it did. Some of the football, the last 2 or 3 games he spelled the football was similar to Rodgers when he was leaving. It was like the players kind of knew that, hey, let's just get this done. Let's just get the end of the season, tide the air, and we'll go again this summer.
I was bored the day we beat Inverness in the cup final.
The cup final was the impressive iron.
I was really bored with the amount.
I think the difference. I think the difference was
but that wasn't a great performance either. But the cup final,
I didn't need to be, mate. We scored 3 goals.
But you know that's Ryan's point.
I think the difference is with Ange most of the time, even though we might only win a game 1-0 or so, we were bombarding teams. We've not really bombarding teams as much. I think it's not the fact that we're not winning games or we've lost 2 or 3 games or whatever, or drew 2 or 3 games. It's the fact that we've went from that to that, and it's took us a wee bit of time, and it's consistency. And we've not had a set piece, a players, a set 11. But the manager's culprit of that as well. He's starting Welsh and Narovsky, or Scales and Narovsky, and then he's moving all the time. As much as I might not be Scales' biggest fan, or Welsh's biggest fan, or whoever's biggest fan, pick a team, Brendan, and if they're all fit, stick to it. It's the only way you're going to get a performance consistently. If you keep swapping guys out and in and out, i.e. injuries, I get that. But if guys are, if Bernabeu's fit...
season as well, Ryan,
No, but I mean the new. See the new, right? As much as I want Greg...
But just after back of 3 games away from home, so...
See once Greg Taylor's fit, if he plays on Saturday, right? Don't deny, Bernabeu played okay the weekend.
I'll be thinking about you, mate.
No, listen, see to be fair, see if you're Bernabeu on his performance at the weekend there. If I'm not playing it Saturday, I'm thinking, well, I done well in the second half. Well, but we all know Greg Taylor, at the moment where we are, Greg Taylor is the best left back, so he probably will be playing on Saturday.
Yeah, I thought could be worse, mate. He could be setting us into you.
If Greg Taylor's fit, he'll be playing on Saturday. I think we can agree on that. But he's got to try and get some sort of consistency. If he thinks it's Welsh or Scales, then keep them, play them. As much as I might think Narovsky should be playing or whoever should be playing, the manager, if you decide it's Welsh and Scales, stick to it. Don't change your team, because the longer you keep the same team, the longer you're going to get consistency and the levels are going to start going up. But there's something about Narovsky I like. I really like him. I know he made that wee blip against Aberdeen and his head went. But he done well when he came on against Hibs. I've not really seen Narovsky make many big mistakes apart from that one at Aberdeen. And we're at a predicament, JP, where...
Was it no his boots you says you like? That's what you like about his boots.
It's the manager at Celtic, whoever... we're always going to be unhappy with certain guys not playing. This is just us as fans. He's never going to fit everybody to play. We've all got a preference. I like Narovsky, and I think he's got a lot of potential to be a very good defender. But at the moment, Rodgers likes Scales and Welsh, and as much as I might not think they guys longer term are good enough to progress Celtic, this is where we are, and we just need to go with that at the end of the season, and that's where we are. But what I was actually really impressed with, actually, to be fair, was that I think the biggest, I would say, was the impression for me was Kyogo, for me. The fact that he was starting to come into a game, what he was trying to do off the ball, what he was doing on the ball, he was linking the play a wee bit. And I hope, see the formation that we played at the weekend there, again, talking about consistency.
Yeah.
He's got to keep that now for Saturday. Don't go and change it. Stick to it now. We played well, better performance. We got a victory. Stick to it in at Celtic Park. That's cool.
Narowski.
No, he's a bit young.
It took me a wee minute there before a penny dropped on on.
He's a bit young for me. He's about 22. I'm 30. I can't be doing that.
It's good to keep the back door shut.
Well, good. I don't want to touch the back door.
I know. I take it of any sunshine coming through that back door. That's for sure.
No, I think ideally, JP, we want to try and keep the same. We want to try and keep the same. You've got a good performance. Aye. Just let it out. Let's just let it out, laugh. Let it out. Just let it out. Oh. Take a poker at your arse, you play.
Oh, don't say that. You get me on an arm,
man. And in all seriousness, he's got to, if I want consistency, he's got to try and stick to the same. Either the same team to a degree, obviously Taylor might come back in, but try and stick with the same formation. Now at Celtic Park, Celtic should be able to go with Kyogo, 2 up front, or the 1-on-1, and go and beat Kelly. You should be. That as much as people might say that's snobbery, no, it's the quality. Don't get me wrong, by the way, Kilmarnock have actually got a decent attacking line. I've obviously Greg Stewart and stuff like that signed from now, so Daniel Armstrong's been doing well from, so they've actually got Van Veen as well, so they've got the potential there to cause you some issues in Saturday, because for me, I believe, as much as the real team, and I do believe Welsh and Scales are there to be get at if the team are good enough, so we've got to be solid defensively. But I think overall, JP, you've got to be positive. You're through to quarter-final, a bit better performance, and I kind of agree with McGregor. Everything McGregor says, I thought was spot on, and in terms of, I thought the first half wasn't great, but the second half was far better. And just there's a glint in his eye, JP, when he talks. And for me, I've seen some comments see some of the Facebook groups on Facebook. Honestly, I don't know what some of the guys really. I don't know if they take stuff before they go in and comment, because a guy says McGregor's this and he's no this, he's no a captain. What have you been watching What have you been watching? The guy, like I said to you, JP, right? See, because what McGregor has done. Yes, for Celtic, especially the last 2 years under Ange, and how he took over the captaincy of Brown. He took over a team in transition, lost to 10. It was a big, right, okay, I need to come in instead of this ship here. To then win a double, then win a treble, potentially going to do a double this year. His standards, see if you actually maybe look at his data, JP, I've no data analyst, I've not got all the stuff. It's not something it's not my forte, right? Maybe talking to my 40 either, but McGregor, he's probably not dropped off as much as you think. It's probably because, maybe on the eye, it might be, but it's because of how good he's been. And I probably agree with I don't know if it was you said it, Aaron, but one of the comments. I think if Hatati's there, it gives McGregor the licence to go a bit forward, because Hatati can slip into the defensive middle and defend. And it lets O'Reilly go and go forward, so he can sit there and dictate the play. The game at Ibrox is probably...
That was definitely me. It says that, man. The big man's not as quick as that. Definitely not.
The big performance McGregor was probably... At Celtic Park, he was very good, but the game for me, the highlight that showed McGregor who the leadership and taking the mantle and the responsibility and being good was a game at Ibrox. He owned Ibrox that day. It was brilliant. And name of course, Sabata. Them at the Ibrox weren't very good. They kind of let McGregor a free roll. He just says, "You give me a free roll, cool. I'll take the ball and I'll deal with it." And he was brilliant. So
one more like that, one more than the next one, and he gets to keep him because he ran a score against him at Celtic Park.
So I've always said, JP, if Callum McGregor plays well, Celtic won the game. It was the same with Scott Brown. If Scott Brown won the battle midfield, Scott Brown played well, no matter how poor we were performing beforehand the game, Celtic won the game. So if McGregor steps up, the season will step up, and I think he knows what's in that change room, JP. You see it when he's talking. We'll see where we end up at the season. He knows that things are just going to start to go. And I've said to you, I'll say it on here again, I still believe we'll win the league by a few points. I don't think it will go to the people saying the last game and stuff. I think we'll go to Ibrox and win. I think we'll win at Celtic Park against them. So it's doing what we do against the other teams. And we can't have a 0-0 at home. Or, I think that's our downfall, JP. It's not against them. It's against when you get these low block teams. And sometimes it doesn't matter if you're East Stirling or you're Celtic, whoever it is you're playing against, it's hard to break down. And that's why the quality, hopefully, will shine at the end of the season.
Yeah, but just to add to what you were saying in terms of the low block, I think you've got a different tool in the box now. I think Adamida brings that to you in terms of, I think one of the comment, I don't know if it was Plunge or someone else, the comment says he doesn't think that the big man will score a lot of goals through open play. That might not be the case, but I tell you what he will do. He will work his backside off for that team, and he will bring a physical. He will bring a physical presence. He will bring a physical presence to the side. He will certainly bring a massive physical presence to the team, and he will work his backside off the way he did yesterday. You know, he'll run the channel, he'll chase people with force things. I think he got his like 2 throw-ins in a space of 3-4 minutes that created 2 chances for Celtic in that time. So see that, just chasing a lost cause into the corner, where you think the defender's just going to play it back to the goalkeeper and he's just going to play it simply down the line to the fullback. The big man just put the afterburners on and gets after people. And
he was unlucky with the one as well, when he just slipped and the ball went out. If he didn't slip, he'd have scored.
Yeah, there was one as well, the one he kind of dummied, the one he went to turn that way and turned the other way. The boy, he sent a boy to the shorts for milk. And he turned around and hit a shot, but it deflected off the defender and hit the side netting. I've seen enough of Big Ida now that I know he's going to make some sort of contribution to the team. I've got every faith in him to see that he's going to, you know, and he's already showed a big set of cojones as well in terms of being calm and composed. Because, let's face it, lads, he's probably seen the amount of negativity that was out against him before he even came up here and signed. And he probably, if he's on social media, then he's definitely seen a good bit of it. You know, there's people calling him a dud and never even knew anything about him. There was people saying he was rotten and he was this and he was that and making all sorts of silly predicaments that things were going to happen. And again, we spoke and we said it's probably not based on his terms of a footballer, but I did see comments, you know, I did for Norwich and things like that were being said. So I think the way Brendan speaks of him, and then when you see him when obviously Kyogo scored. He was one of the first right over with Palmer, giving Kyogo a big cuddle, and there was a lot of happiness in there. You know, the celebration, and he looks like, you know, and for me, the penalty at Hibs, like I says, lads, I think that's going to be a big telling point of the season. Every season you get this kind of momentum, you get this moment. The first season under Ange, the moment for me was when we beat Dundee United at Celtic Park and Abada scored the winner. Looked like nothing was going for us that day. We tried everything. We hit the bar. Seagrass saved about 1 million shots, and then Abada found the net and got his at cutting edge. It put pressure on the team across the water, and then on the Wednesday night we then went and we beat them comprehensively, took over them, and again mentally, in my opinion, that's what killed them off that season. So I really do think that, you know, that momentum's going to happen again. What is wrong with you?
The helicopter house, the paraglider.
Oh, brilliant, man.
What says that?
The helicopter pilot has been paid off since 2012. Is that
no, good enough, Carl.
I'll put it up.
Sevco can't afford a helicopter these days. They now hire a paraglider from Berlin.
Brilliant.
Aye, that's pretty good. Aye. To be
I'll
honest,
just
I was
touch
too
on
busy.
that.
I was too busy in the zone there, Alan. I didn't get to see that comment. But Alan, I want to put a wee question to you, mate. Obviously, me and Ryan were just chatting about there. But do you think, mate, if we didn't have Brendan Rodgers as our current manager, do you think, people, if the narratives are to believe, then we're in the midst of a crisis at the moment. But if we didn't have Brendan, do you think we would be seeing the same amount of character being shown in the games that we are winning narrowly, but still getting over the line and still doing it? Or do you think you'd be seeing more points being dropped? Because I'm not so sure, mate.
Just depends on the person that would be here instead of Brendan.
Well,
I know
I'll give you an example. So if you
Maresca.
went down to John Kennedy kind of route again, or do you think we would still be seeing, Celtic winning, or do you think Celtic would have the know-how to negotiate these ties? Because I firmly believe as well, Brendan's a massive reason as to why, we're still winning these games.
Well, obviously he's a big contributor to the fact that he's the one kind of speaking to the players day in, day out, giving the tactics, giving the pep talks, as you may have it. So he'll be a big factor in that. But I still think that's probably within the player's character that's been here, the remainder of them that's been here. You've got to look at the team that we've got now compared to the ones that's won the treble, the trebles. You look like Greg Taylor's out, Carter Vickers, Hattati, then you look at the three players that's left as well. So there is a fair few of them that are new players that's come in as well all that time. So you've got to hope that the kind of confidence for the players that's been there, done it, and won all these silverware is brushed off on these players as well. And hopefully that comes to fruition further on the season. But just to touch upon the Ida part as well, although I wouldn't be as confident as your good self about how well he's done at present, because it's only 2 games in, so give him the benefit of the doubt at present and see how he gets on. But I think it's more than him contributing. See, with the change of formation, I think with him being up there, then it pulls defenders all over the place, and maybe that's how Kyogo's had that chance at the weekend there that he put away. So you're creating space for other people. It could be either, it could be O. But that is a change of formation that we should look to implement at times when it's maybe no working against, say, a low block. I don't think St Mirren was a low block, actually. You've got to give them credit. They came out and actually had a fair go at us as well. They had a few decent chances, so you've got to give St Mirren credit as well. But when we're playing, these kind of say that be Livingston or St Johnstone or such, if it's kind of low block, maybe this change of formation, something we can implement that can pull defenders away and let the likes of Kyogo open up space for them so that more danger men can get the space that's needed to put away these kind of chances. So that's the way I'd look at upon it. I wouldn't be looking at, he does go to have a chance, you know what I mean? You've got to give him more than 2 games, but I'd be looking at more of the fact of the change of formation that could kind of bear fruit for us in the future, hopefully.
He's also
got 2 goals in the 2 games as well. So it's...
But Alan saying there, JP, see the way you think about it, right? The big, I'm not going to backtrack on the signing because his profile for Celtic, it just didn't look great. That's what the fans were really, me including. It was like, it wasn't the fact his ability, it was the profile. It's not the profile that you would expect to come in and go, right, that's going to scream quality. But like Alan just said, it's put a wee thing in my mind, and you can answer it yourself, mate, that he might not be here, obviously he's a striker, to score goals, but the plan might be actually to give Kyogo the role to go and do what he needs to do. The fact that Alan says there, he'll ruffle defenders, he'll bully defenders, he's strong, he's powerful. He might be able to run the channels, and it leaves Kyogo outside the box, in the box, to then go and score goals. So it could be a bit of a ploy for him to do that and leave Kyogo to obviously score the goals, and the big man can obviously get in as well. But I think that I think the formation that the manager's doing might be one to stick with, especially going away to Liam Kosowata, because the big man will physical.
Flexibility as well, isn't it? It's
obviously Big O as well. He's still to come in as well. But for me, I think Big O at Celtic, I think he's, I don't want to say he's a number, but in terms of starting games, I think he'll find it very hard to go over Kyogo and the big man, because obviously Rodgers says he's signed him. Apparently the manager says he's signed it off, so he's obviously a big fan of Adam. So that JP for me could be another thing, but probably for me, the biggest negative, and for me, a lot of Celtic fans have already mentioned that I've seen, for me, I'll talk about it again. I mean, I spoke about it. Palmer's dive was, honestly, mate, I'm going to lie, right? I liked a wee dive when I played football, but I made sure that I had contact with the defender. I used, if you want to call it experience, I was only a young guy, but I seen guys doing it. I knew what I was doing. Palmer's dive, JP, was, for me, it was disgusting. See, I don't mind guys maybe calling referees and trying to do me things to try and do what you can to win football games. That was disgusting. He had an opportunity to get the ball across, and he's trying to get a penalty. Lewis, get up, son. Get up. This isn't Cyprus or Greece or whatever. This is Scotland. Get the ball.
Crazy rush of blood to the head on it.
Aye, it's mental, mate. And I've seen people saying that he was back to his best. He done decent, but Palmer's got, for me, I'm still going to, people might say it's negative, but it's a standard, obviously, for Jota that we've seen. And you can't compare him to Jota, because, listen, Jota was an amazing find, and he's not going to, Celtic need to pay big money to go and get somebody like that. So, but for me, Palmer's got to do MR, and he's definitely no stick on. Like we've spoke about, we've got Maeda now. Yang might come back into, obviously, a bad situation. Don't know what's going to happen there with him longer term. So, we've got options here out wide, JP. So, and I definitely can say, hopefully that's where now we start coming together now. And I do agree with one of the comments there. I'm agreeing with yourself. I don't see us that many points now at the end of the season. I really don't. I think we've had our wee patch where we've had a wee blip.
Wee patch, wee dug cold patch.
Wee dug cold patch, aye.
The brown tooth.
Aye. Them across the water, they've not had their wee patch out under Clement. Everything's all rosy here, Barry. Everything's all rosy with them. They're performing well, by the way. They're punch slick stuff, and it's no long ball, and it's
that's over here. That's over here. And then you go and watch them, and you go, it's still the same team that
they went to St Mirren. They went to St Mirren and won 1-0. It was fine. They were brilliant, buddy. And then you've got Hugh Keevins saying, "Oh, I'm going to do him in here." You can come back to me and say, "Listen, I've always said Hugh Keevins, any journalist that's on BBC, Sky Sports, Clyde, I respect that you've done it for years. You've obviously done very well in your career to get to that stage." But they sit there and say that you want to touch Celtic with bars pull, i.e. if it's betting, or you want to put your hat on Celtic. Who is the champions who have been there and done it? They've got all the winners. You've got the winning manager. As much as you might have maybe Scales, who's the first time as a winner in the team, or in the team, if you get guys like Bernardo just into the team, Ida into the team, give me some new guys. You've got guys who have hardly won anything in their career. Aye, Clement, he's won trophies, I get that. But Rangers hit them across the water in Celtic. The pressure to win trophies is massive, and you can't finish second tier. So
Big Alan says there, Big Ida's only played two games.
Aye, two goals.
He scored the same amount of goals as Barbie.
But for me, JP, this fall, listen, we're not performing to the levels maybe but we've seen in the past. We're still top league as it stands at the moment. So to sit there and say that, oh, they're superstars now, and they're listen, like I said to you, they're doing what they should be doing. They're the second best team as it stands at the moment. They should be beating the teams. Unfortunately, we went through a wee bit with it, didn't they? But they're no playing for football. You're like, wow, by the way, here, we've got a big challenge on here. We've got a challenge on because we had a patch at a time where they continue to go and be protected under a new manager, and we just, for whatever reason, we just slipped up. And it's not like they've clawed back. They've not clawed back a gap by playing amazing football. We've let them back in it by just going here. All right, we've drew. So all this narrative that they are, JP, we've watched them. Listen, I know we're Celtic fans, right? But we're no stupid men here, right? We understand football. We watch football. See somebody that you've got's a good player. I've said to you, if somebody's good, okay, by the way, a boy's decent. I said to you, I thought Cantwell was a decent player when he came. He's got attributes in his game which I think, see if he was in our team, he'd probably suit us. I'm not saying he's going to get a game with us, but his attributes would suit a team with us. Gets the ball in the park and plays. They're non ball. So, like I say, see if somebody they signed does well, I'll go off. Like I say, McCoy's the past, other guys, brilliant strikers. Chris Boyd, he might have been an absolute.
For who though? For who though? Because there's certain people out there thought he played with Celtic.
Listen, I'm not a better person, right? Chris Boyd does, man, nothing on the media, right? Certain games against Celtic, he might have not scored goals, but the guy's a goal scorer. And I can, JP, you've got to respect goal scorers, right? But see all this about that Celtic are not a good team or Celtic have not got winners, I'm not going to put my hat on Celtic. And where's your evidence to say that Celtic won't win the league? Where's the evidence to say that they're superstars? And I put that to yourself, JP. It's no the noise, us as fans, the standards, but the media trajectory is, they're this and they're that. Shanklin's this and he's going to sign for Rangers. And you're going to give his peace, man. But shut up. Go eat your cold beans.
No, I know. There's one or two others on here that do that as well, mate. Joe Curran, he says, JP, is Brendan not partly responsible for the 8-point lead we had? Hail. Joe, to be fair with you, mate, this is all I've heard all year.
It's a go for Joe.
It's a go for Joe. But all year, mate, I've heard the same thing. And what I will say to you, Joe, is it's a collective. It's not just one individual. Brendan sets the team out, mate. They get the white line and they've got to carry out the activities and the duties that Brendan gave them.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Brendan isn't, he's not responsible for what they do out in the park. He is ahead of the table, mate, so therefore he fronts everything up in terms of when it doesn't go well. What Brendan's had to deal with this season, in my opinion, has been OTT, and that goes with all the negativity, because to be fair, if we're all being honest right now, Brendan, sorry I'm boring you, big man. I'll not keep you too much longer.
I need a light on me, right?
Brendan's...
I'm about to tea now, because JP's on a spiel here, I'm about to tea now.
Brendan... No, Joe was just asking, but Brendan's on a hide into nothing, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Really, if you look at it, Joe, if you're still watching us, because he's doomed if he does, he's doomed if he doesn't. If Celtic won 4-0 yesterday, people are on here the night saying Celtic's to win 5-0, 6-0. How do they know that? It's just that's the nature of it. That's where we are. If Brendan made 5 signings in the January window, people will be wanting 7, 8, 9. That's just what happens. If he spent 5 million on a guy, how do you know spend 6 million on a guy? How do you know spend 7 million? That comes with the territory. I think with Brendan's, where with Brendan is, it's how he left the first time. There's still a lot of people there that can't get...
Machiavelli, that's a belter. Machiavelli. Machiavelli, brilliant. Brilliant.
As much as you're saying, Joe Curran, as much as you're saying there, is Brendan not responsible for the 8 points that we've lost? Surely Brendan's responsible for obviously beating them twice in the derby as well. And surely Brendan's responsible for ending my 10-year unwinning record in the Champions League as well. I think you need to kind of be, there's always pros to the cons as well, mate. But for me, it's a collective. Like Ryan says just before I came back in there, I really think that, the team they dropped a bit of form, as certain comments have said on here tonight. And listen, like I said earlier on, folks, it's a massive transition. And this season, we've had a lot of young guys having to come into the team and be men. Some of it's been forced upon us, some of it's been gradually brought in. But the ones that have been forced upon us, i.e., like your Liam Scales, Stephen Mills. Stephen Mills would have probably played a lot more if he just wasn't that unlucky guy that picked up wee niggling injuries here and there. I think Stephen Mills would have had a big say in the team this season, probably more consistently, and that would have been maybe the two. I know probably Ryan's nearly swallowed his Adam's apple there with me saying that, but that would have been the two in the main that probably would have played. But I'll tell you something, and something that nobody can deny. Liam Scales has been a go-to man for reliability in their defence this season. He's been the most consistent, and he's been the most guy that you'd go, he's fit all the time. He's a guy that's fit every week, 2-3 games a week. He's played every game. And we've had to deal with big blows this season as well. We've had to deal with, big injuries to Cameron Carter-Vickers, Rio Watati. And lads, whether we like it or not, they're massive hitters for us. They really are. And we were saying earlier in the season, the guys that are coming in kind of light a candle to them. Wherein, in fact, that was probably an unfair diagnosis at the time, because if you look at it objectively and you see it now, a lot of these boys are good at what they do. It's just going to take them a wee bit longer to get to what we want them to do. And they're young guys. Every one of them are all young boys. So I think there needs to be a wee bit of the balance has got to be there. But to answer your question, Joe, overall, I really think that, it's a collective more than just pointing the fingers at certain individuals, because if you're going to blame him for that, then you certainly need to praise him for winning the 2 derbies. Because you're then taking away for the team winning the derbies then and putting on the manager. Because you're taking away for the team that have actually been out and dropped the points when Brendan's standing in the dugout, trying to give out instructions to the team. I think it's one of the ones you'd be careful of. Ryan, you mentioned Abada as well. I think it's a really sensitive subject, mate. I'm not really willing to go too much into depth with. I think you're looking at a guy's potential mental well-being at the moment. Whatever's going on in his home country, I've said before on here, mate, it's a real shame. But we are no privy. We don't know what's went on in the background. We don't know if Abada has experienced significant loss in his loved ones, in his close circles, or like relatives, or we don't know what's going on. But again, as Celtic fans, I think most of us are just selfish, Ryan. We just want Abada firing and scoring goals and doing the business. But in the midst of all that, becomes he's a real guy, he's a real person. And I think people get lost in that sort of thought process, that they think these guys are machines. You just turn them off at night and then they come back next Saturday, and next Friday night you turn them on and warm them up before the game on Saturday. That's not how it works, mate. These guys are real people. They've got real emotions, real feelings, they're real people.
In terms of Abada, mate, like I say, I don't watch the news really. To anybody who watches, I generally don't watch the news a lot. So, intend to the world stuff. Obviously, I know bits and bobs of what's been happening, but I've always said I'll never put my name onto something on here that I don't know much about. So I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything that's happening in Israel and Ukraine and Russia and stuff. I don't know everything that's going on. I just see bits and bobs in the papers and Twitter. And to be fair, most of my knowledge, JP, through Twitter and so TikTok stuff. I don't watch the news. Very rarely do I watch the news. I just don't watch the news. So I'm not the biggest guy to come to all this. I don't know the ins and outs of things. I just know that what's happening in all these countries and people involved and stuff. It's just there's innocent people dying and there's loads of things going on, and it's not something I'm pivotal to. All I really focus on is the football. I don't know much about everything else. So I'm not going to sit here, if it's in group chats or on here, and say stuff about things I don't know much about. But in terms of Abada, whatever's going on, if it's a day with Israel, if it's a day with Russia, if it's a day with family life, is it not been happy at Celtic? We don't know everything that's behind in his head. So all I can say
I just want to wish him well, Ryan. I really do want to wish him well, and I really hope that I don't know. Like I say, I don't know what's going on, JP. If it's football related, is it outside noise? Is it other things? I don't know. So I'm not going to sit here and say when the manager comes out and says he's not in the right frame of mind, Ryan, that to me, like I says, that to me is alarming, mate. And
like it's alarming in a sense. We don't know. Is it home for? Is it pressure for the homeland? Is it outside? Is it football related? I'm not going to sit here and say I know, because I don't know. All I want is Abada fit and firing. And I want him playing with Celtic because he's a big asset to Celtic. But for whatever reason, if it's homeland stuff, if it's mental health, or whatever the reason is that he can't play or he's no on it, I don't want him playing for his sake, because there's no point in him playing football when he's no on it. And for us, when we're trying to chase titles and try to put on a show for fans and stuff like that, he can't be a part of that, because it's no fair on him. It's not fair on the manager, it's not fair on the team as well. But there's got a guy who's no firing, he can't give his all. So, for the best part of every party, until he's back to himself and he's clued on Celtic, then he's better out the team. And there's guys here that can cover him. until then. If it's still the same situation at the end of the season, maybe the best thing to do is, listen, if you're not going to be on it here and now, maybe it's best going loan all.
Yeah.
But that's for another time. All
Yeah.
I hope is that the guy gets back to playing football, which is obviously his love. And
Yep.
I say JP, I'm not up a name, something that I don't know about, but I just hope the guy's back playing football soon and he can get his heat space, right? Whatever that may be, if it's Homeland or Celtic, whatever it is, I just hope they can get back to playing football very soon.
Definitely. Alan, I think it's fair that Brendan's, remarkably what he's done, he's took him at the firing line at the moment, because I think he's, it's one of those ones, mate. I know he's probably if his head's no straight or whatever, and he's not thinking about his football and stuff. I mean, we could all see against Hibs, mate, he was out of sorts at some point, or at some level. But I think the manager's done really well in taking him out the firing line, because I know 1 or 2 performances like that, I think it's not going to be a matter of time before the fans are really on his back and giving to him tight, obviously, and that he's not performing well enough for us, and he's not scoring goals the way we've become accustomed to him over the last couple of seasons. But so I think and better for all parties that he comes out the team just now until such times if he is, he's ready to do the business again for us, mate.
Right, first of all, I just echo kind of Ryan's opinion. I'm here to talk about football, no anything to do with politics. So when you want to kind of upset anybody or anybody's beliefs,
that's why I said
none
of us are privy to what's going on. It's just
so I really want to comment on it in regards to that. I fully respect it. Liel might be going through kind of circumstances that we're not aware of. But I think his time's come at Celtic. I think the things we're seeing just now, I think you could maybe see him kind of moving on, possibly before the summer. Some of the stuff I've kind of read today, there's still kind of transfer windows within Europe and beyond that are still open.
Really? Okay.
I don't know if it's Turkey or there's a few places, but so I don't know if it's a possibility if he's kind of whatever, if that's his personal life or just some of his thoughts, whatever that may be, we'd just be kind of guessing. So there's no point in saying that. But there's obviously, as Brendan says, there's something amiss. So if it's best for all parties, as you say, is like if a player isn't necessarily happy at the club or the club's not happy with the player, etc., then it's best for all parties to kind of move on in the best position possible. You can obviously see if his performances the last couple of games, he's not really been the Abada that we've grown to love over time and we've seen previously. So there's obviously something amiss. None of us will know what that actually is, but if it is best for the player and the club that the player moves on, then so be it, and we wish him all the best.
Yeah, we do, and I hope, like I said, if anybody's close to him's watching us, you can get a message to him from us. We do hope his head gets right and he can get back to doing what he loves best, because as a player, I think we can all agree, lads, he's very effective and he's a wee goal scorer when he's on it, and it's just a shame at the moment what's going on. It's also a shame in what's going on in his home country at the moment, and we wish him all the best. I think that's us, lads. I think I'm all talked out here.
No, shagged it, Bobby, shagged it.
Oh, shagged it, son. Shagged it, Bobby, shagged it. I feel a bit like Wally Napier. I'm starting to go blue with my finger here, starting to point. Looking for my brown loaf.
Where's my loaf? Jack!
You'll be sitting there pointing, staring at you.
Aye.
Where's my brown loaf? I needed you, you weren't here.
Aye.
I'm no Quincy, Jack, but I would say he did, aye. Think with a cup.
Hey, your dad's deed, all right?
A wee bit of a cold, aye. Victor, aye, you know Victor, aye. Your dad's deed, you better come up.
You must like your fish and chips. That's what he said. Pay for your call. Keeps the bill small.
Oh, brilliant.
Hey, come on, man, I'm shattered.
Yeah, it's been emotional being on my goose too again, that's for sure. And I want to thank everybody again for taking the time to come and watch us and join us tonight.
Yep.
Thank you very much for all your comments. I do apologise if I've not been able to get everybody's comment up, but you know the way we roll now, folks. It's just not possible sometimes, especially with they two on and the way they talk and the way they go on, man, and especially that Ryan, man. He's a man.
Barry, I'm actually glad I've not to get the boxing gloves out for you today for the referee.
Sponsored.
I've been all right. I've been all
No,
right.
no, we done all that earlier in the group chat, didn't we? So we sorted out our differences earlier. Big man looks as if he's fell asleep with doing a cheese grater right enough, but as I say, it's come closer
right,
to that light, baby.
You won't get served, darling. Come closer.
Come in anytime. Come in anytime. You'll be welcome. But before we finish up, folks, just to let you all know that this podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment, and it's a DJ and entertainment business, folks. The number on your screen is how you get in contact with Big Alec Beveridge. That's what AB stands for. The number is 07845 746 092. And as you can see, folks, the page is on Facebook and Instagram. And you can also get Alec on the WhatsApp via that number if you're looking to make any bookings for anybody that either yourself or in your family has got any functions or parties that may be coming up soon, folks. But for the time being, guys and girls and boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, as I said, it's been emotional coming on and having another chat with you all. And take it easy. Massive hail from myself.
Hail.
And we'll be back on Wednesday, and hopefully there'll be another new Celtic Tartan show for you. Maybe Pavel Brozex this time or something like that. Or,
Have I
I
died?
don't know. Somebody's.
I went heaven.
I don't know, but for some reason, when you done that there, you turned into Magic Jarafsky.
Imagine you get a bulb, Wembley.
Imagine you get a bulb at Wembley. But thanks very much for your comment there, Chris. Amazing, mate. Feel free to share and subscribe and share among your Celtic family. For above all else, see you all later.
Hail.
Have a long lie down and
a wee hot water bottle.
Wee hot water bottle, aye. And regain my thoughts for this fine Monday evening. But above all else, have a lovely day, you couple of.
Have a yo-yo.
See you later. Aye. I don't like a mint man's all. I like the toffee one. Right. See you later. Bye-bye.
Hail.
Well, all right, lads. Guten Tag.